Welcome to the ONID Simhound Amateur Series. This will be the track guide for Snetterton. We will first go through a fast lap and then do a slower lap where we talk about some braking points and what to aim for through the corners. Starting out a new lap here, we will start by looking on the left. We will brake at the 1 sign and coast through the corner until we can get back on throttle. It's a very fast corner, but you can use the curb on the outside on the left. Do not use the inside. On the number 2 sign, we brake in a straight line, let off, turn more on the apex, let the car drift out, carry the speed, and continue. On this marker, brake towards the middle, very lightly, coast, get back on throttle. It's all about patience and smoothness. In between the 1 and 2 sign, we brake in a straight line. Once again, left, be patient, don't go too early on throttle or you're gonna drift too wide. At the booth, brake very lightly or very shortly. At the signs, brake, go right, you can cut a lot on the inside. Here, at the end of the green turf on the left, a little bit of brake. You want to do that smoother than I did, but once again, it's just a tap of the brake, coast through the corner, get back on throttle. For the next corner, it's divided in 2. First brake, let off, brake again, left off to get the turn, back on throttle. And here it is just coast for a little bit, back on throttle. Hold this throttle, try to hold inside, then you coast, then you get back on throttle when you sort of move it back in. Straighten out the wheel, get on the brakes, lift off the brakes before you turn left, and that is a lap of Snetterton. Now we will take a bit of a slower lap, going through the first corner. We will stop about, this is a little bit later than where I would brake normally. But this, you brake down until you can shift down into maybe 4th or 3rd in this corner. You coast the first bit. When you have turned enough is when you want to feed back into the throttle, preferably smoothly. On this second corner you have the sign on the left or the orange bit on the right as a brake marker. You brake in a straight line. You lift off the brake and start to turn in. The most you want to turn the wheel is in the middle, and then you sort of want to feed it back up again. And into the next corner, at the signs, brake towards the middle of the track, because you need to then lift off the brake, coast, hug that inside curb, and then you get back on throttle to use all of the curb on the outside. Don't go too far, but you don't have grass there, it's concrete or some other hard materials that you can use. Between the 2 and 1 sign here is a good point to brake in the Porsche. Just brake in a straight line again, feed into the steering, the most steering in the middle, then feed it back out again as you go back on throttle. Be patient to get a good line out. At the booth, you sort of tap the brake hard, you coast a little bit, you get back on throttle. This is a pretty fast corner where you can use a lot of curb on the outside. Here, brake again just before the signs. You can cut a lot on the inside, and if you straddle the curb you will not upset the car as much as if you hit it. Smoothly apply throttle there, you don't need to go full throttle. As you pass the AstroTurf on the left, you tap the brake, you coast along the inside curb, you feed back throttle and go wide on the outside. To this next corner, we divide it into 2. At the 1 sign, I brake towards the middle of the track to just slow down so that I can then again lift off the brake, angle the car towards the curb on the left, to then go back on the brake towards the middle of the track, where I lift off the brake before I turn right, so that I get a lot of grip on the front tires. Then it's just get back on throttle. And for this next right-hander, you just lift up a little in this compression. When you're down in the compression, feed back into the throttle to stabilize the car. Don't go full throttle, but like smoothly apply it up to full. And this right-hander, you start on the outside here. You keep it flat until you no longer can follow the line on the inside. Then you lift off the throttle until the car once again starts to drift inside. You can get back on the throttle. What's important is that you straighten out the car before the last corner. The last corner braking point would be about the third orange marker on the right. Just before that, you want to have the wheel straight and you want to go full on the brakes. You don't need to stay all the way on the right, but you can brake sort of in a straight line towards the middle of the track or almost towards the apex. Before you start to really turn left, you need to let off the brake so that you get a good grip on the front tires again. The car does not turn as well when you are either on throttle or on the brakes. When coasting is when you have the most grip. So just go back, watch the fast lap again if you want to, or give it a go. Good luck on Thursday.